Dry chucking powder. Oh. Citrulline. Arginine. Yucky. Technical difficulties last night. I was on a roll talking about the JP Morgan thing, women in general, just like the sexual hierarchy of power, the need for affirmation, like the idea that men are simps is like actually has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with like the ease of like getting pussy is like the kind of scapegoat image of I need someone to say that I'm good rather than like build my own life because it's lonely being a guy. So this guy seemingly is looking for affirmation through a lawsuit at JP Morgan with his superior. He's not getting something that he needs, so he's whining like a bitch. He clearly has some issue with his mom, his childhood, and he fabricates this crazy story with no evidence, not even text messages. Just like, she tells me. Well, girls like to text. Girls don't just like aren't discreet and then whisper in your ear about how like they've drugged your, Capri Sun with Viagra and they're ready to ride you during your lunch break. No. And also that guy's a freak. He looks like a freak. He's a weirdo. He already has some money. He's just looking to cash out and move on. Nah. Very strange happenings. Very strange indeed. I look a little skinnier, I feel like, a little bit. Trying my best. I had veal Milanese last night after the show. Oh, so good. I was so disappointed. It's going to do it again maybe because I have my IKBR up. It's going to freeze and then this will be fucked up too. I did upload it to my YouTube channel, which I think is linked in the kick. So you can hear at the audio, I think the video is like fucked up. But just in general, it's dangerous to alienate your future employers in an industry with such a lawsuit because he's suing JP Morgan and he's suing this woman who wasn't even his superior. She was adjacent to him. He didn't report to her. It's very weird. It looks like a woman being scorned by a man accusing him of rape. It's like that type of vibe. Like they were friends, allegedly. They did stuff together. They never, like, she was not his boss. And his boss was somebody else, a guy. So maybe she had favoritism. She definitely had seniority. She's a higher title, but they were in the leveraged finance division, whatever, leveraged buyout division. And he just got pissed off. It's hard to get a company to settle with you when you have no evidence. Now, if you have any evidence, if you have video evidence of impropriety from like a partner at like Apollo, cash me outside, bitch. You're going to make some serious money. They don't want to deal with it. They're going to like, okay, here's $3 million, go away. I actually don't even know what the figures are. I'm assuming the first figure is always like 1.2, your lawyers say 10, they're like, that's egregious, and then you walk away like $2.6 million. And then there's a contingency, of course. But this guy just was looking to cash out, call it a day. I think he did it all on his own. I think he filed this to avoid the contingency fees or lawyer fees in general. Most lawyers don't take these cases unless it's a contingency. They want the bulk of the transference. And also, you don't get good standing in cases like this without a legal team. It's kind of like Martin Shkreli when he was like fucked for his criminal trial. It's like, why are you paying Benjamin Brafman $10-15 million in legal fees up front? Like, you're going to lose anyway. It's like, well, for the negotiation. For which prison you go to, like where you're sent, how your accommodations are. I get top bunk. Brafman can do that. $10 million. It's not a good idea, but that tends to be the thing. The federal government's like impossible to beat. They don't get you on one thing. They'll appeal it. They'll wear down your resources because that's why their conviction rate is so high. It's like there's just nothing you can do. Like financially speaking, I think Raj Gupta from McKinsey, just to clear his name, spent $60 million in legal fees. Be tied to Raj Rajetaram at Galleon Group. in terms of like giving him private information. It's like a very weird thing. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of money to spend on lawyers when like you have some like vague connection, 60, why would you bother? Because like in finance you want, it's worth it more, or is it a respect thing? I don't know. I think a lot of people have been burned in finance and have questionable backgrounds. Chamath, can't even spell his last name, Prapa, whatever his name is. He's a scammer. I've heard it's hard for him to raise money. What he likes to do is create these investment vehicles and give himself promo shares, writing off the back of the investments of others. So he gets basically equity distribution preferred over the of the equity of the investors, not even his own money. So he has a free ride where it's like a special promotion. So just by creating the vehicle, he's going to say, we're going to put in 3.5%. The truth is it's 3.5 plus like an extra 2, 3, 4, 5, 10% haircut against the equity appreciation of the other investors. It's like a hidden fee, it's like promo shares, however you want to say it. It's kind of like gross, what do you call it? In private equity, I'm blanking. Yeah, gross IRR. Internal rate of return is not analyzed rate of return. It's like front loaded. You can like really trick someone. It generally looks much higher than the analyzed rate of return. And gross is not net, which is like these fees that just kind of, when you look up at the index, it's always gross. And like, look at the comparable. Yeah, but then after your fees, like you performed, like someone, it's basically like they paid a premium for the access. But I read a great paper from this guy at Oxford. I used to send it to private equity people to fuck with them, because they just would not respond back to me. They're like really nice, and then you show them like, oh, this is a great paper. They don't respond, because it just like highlights the game, the transfer of wealth, which is a knowledge base premium that is not real. The access isn't even real. I guess the access to the deals is a premium to a degree, but is it worth like, okay, 2-3% on your money, like juxtaposed with an index? Like if you're matching the index, you're slightly underperforming after fees. What's the benefit? It's like the internal benefit of the deal that you wouldn't have access to, but you would have done better if you just put your money in an index fund yourself and not had access to the deal. Does that make sense? It's weird. It's like, how do people not see these things? And there are pension fund people, there are planners at CalPERS that have no fucking idea what these things are. I have a friend telling me about these, was it 458 plans? It's like this weird like type of 401k thing where the city will match your you get to invest money like a Roth IRA into an account, and for disability, it's a disability account, and you can then withdraw the money whenever you want for disability purposes, but you're limited in terms of what you can invest in. And I'm just like looking at like what the deal is here. I'm like, okay, this seems retarded. This is like, there's only so much contribution you can have. There's only so much you can like withdraw, because it's only really for disability purposes. And then they can come after you after you're dead. Like they could actually like recoup some of the equity. It's like, that's like kind of a spiral death bond, I don't really agree with, like, why don't you just invest it yourself? Why do you need someone to tell you you can take the money out, but it appreciates in the interim? How much money are you possibly putting in there to where you're going to make any like noticeable return? It can go down, and then you have to pull the money out at a loss to pay for your health issues. Stupid. And there's fees. You're doing this for fees. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Bausch Health, come on. Why don't I sell this thing? Like it was up 620. I made a good amount of money, a nice car. And I just let it go all the way back down again because I'm like afraid of selling. Stupid. What am I to do? What are we to do? The war's coming to an end, thank God. Thank God. The market's kind of like waiting for Warsh. They're waiting for the rate cut. They're waiting for May. Yeah. That's what it is, babies. Or June, maybe. But like they're waiting for Warsh. And I have an inkling that for midterms, the market, they want it to be ramped up. Yeah. Like, let's see how much short-term memory people have. Like we just forget everything that's happened with the war, the lies about immigration and all these things. Let's ramp everyone up on the, the high of just their 401ks going up. It could work. It seems like a lot of people are aligned, like kind of like hot potato, that there's no reason now to see the markets crumble or have a massive sell-off. We've seen that, There seems to be a huge recoup of shares, especially in tech and software, like Freshworks, ServiceNow. I have a little bit of Freshworks still. I don't know why I do. It's just so cheap. I took that as a huge L this year. I had it in my first quarter report for investors. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Yeah, it's I just didn't see the open claw thing. Again, there is a moat to a degree. There is. But I didn't foresee that people would then say, you know what, in the future, discounting all the future earnings when this finally happens, no one's going to pay for these seats, these CRM seats. They're not going to do it. And I think about this. I was on the Amazon call the other day about what exactly are you paying for as a consumer in the future? Are you paying for proprietary agents? Or would you have your own agent that knows you and then what you want, and then it acts as a exogenous agent, extrinsic of the sites or the things that you're looking for? It's task-oriented relative to you. I don't know that it's in your best interest to refer to a third-party agent based off your purchase history on the site when you could just do it yourself. Isn't the whole point of agency having a team that knows what you like and what you want, not third parties that are deferential? Right? Third parties are deferential to the companies to trick you. Your agent's deferential to you. So why would you do that? Like, what is... In the animal kingdom, there's something called the Flynn effect, where a higher species eats all the natural resources and then there's nothing left for it, so it starves. What if companies, everyone's concerned about like consumers, discretionary income, UBI, like jobs, but what if the company's knowledge base or value product margin or whatever contribution to society margin of benefaction is actually neutralized by agents, that they don't have an edge over anyone? The agent is the end all be all of like diversification amongst companies, and there's just going to be a few. All the dystopian movies in the future. It always seems to be like the things that are out there are sex. And like, there's always a massive corporation. There's not 85,000 massive corporations. There's not like 20. It's like very consolidated. And Jared Leto is there doing like this. That's kind of what it is, isn't it? Isn't compute costs and tokenage? If you're going to own all the utility for energy in the future to run the models, assuming even if we improve them, the sunken cost provisions, they're going to protect their interest and say, no, might just be this new thing that we could do that saves money, but we can't do that. It undercuts us. Someone would have to be really crazy to like fuck with us. So we're just going to buy up companies that like try to come public or go out there with something that would undermine our market share. They do this all the time. This is the way business works. So the compute and tokenage, assuming their own AIs were to fail, they would just buy out the companies that would like somehow surprisingly outdo them, which is unbelievable because like the capacity for new build or new entries to the marketplace should be higher than ever before with AI. Like the barrier to entry should be enormous. So they just buy up everybody. So the companies, and going full circle, have created something that destroys themselves. like there's like either a massive like mega cap consolidation. Can you imagine like Amazon merging with Facebook? I'm just saying, like, it actually makes a lot of sense to me if these companies were not necessarily Amazon, Facebook, but Facebook wanting to merge with someone that's like kind of like more like direct to consumer. Like Facebook wants to merge with Netflix or some crazy thing like that. I could see some. It just like doesn't make any sense, but it does. It's like we want to have our like entry into the market. We want a user base that's like diversified beyond ads, you know, and I think that's that's like Netflix with your subscription based model. You get less of that with Meta. You get more like ad based revenue. And I'm like, yeah, but the ad based revenue could get destroyed in the future with agents. How many ads are you looking at when you're on your like ChatGPT thing? You know, the thing that saved Facebook over its metaverse debacle is the ads. Have you seen ads? Do you see ads on your ChatGPT? Yeah, they need to consolidate. There's going to be weird consolidations like that. So Esperion Therapeutics was bought out today. I've talked about it before. Disappointed in the share price. Actually lost money. I was in 348 was my cost basis. I let it just fall. Didn't want to buy anymore until I heard about the European Union, and I got fucked. I got some of my money back, but I got fucked. It was a small position, but yeah, irritating. At the same time, I again gave up a car yesterday in equity of appreciation on Bausch and just said I'm not going to sell it. You know, it's like one of those things where you just don't. You want to trade around your long position. You don't want to trade your long position here. It's such a big position, and I'm just like, this stock's trading that the equity's worth zero, and I'm like, as soon as they sell Bausch and Lom, it's going to be like 3-4x the price. So I'm like, what am I doing? Like, well, I can't sell. You know, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't. It's frustrating though. It's very frustrating. What else? Sarepta, Snap. You know, I'd like to see Snap do something later in the day today. Where's the S&P at? Let's see. I got so much to do. I got to pack, moving, all this stuff. Why didn't I sell it for the extra cash? What's wrong with me? I'm like, oh, I know why. Because I'm on margin, and my concern was if I buy it back in, they won't let me in intraday. They have to wait for the margin reset overnight. That was my theory. I was like, I could have, you know, it's a big position. They're like, why are you on margin? I'm like, because the market went to shit, and I decided in March to go on margin. Like, who gives a shit, you know? The market was literally doing nothing all year. Okay, like where did we start the year in January? We started it at like 700-ish, 692. Okay, we've done nothing the entire fucking year, and I decided to go on margin. I make some money back, you know. Like it's not been a great year. We're down 7%. The market's down 4%. That was the first quarter. We had a huge rebound, so that's shifted. But like my whole job is to beat the market, and yeah, not just ADMA. That was another one that got crushed, which I think was a short report that's bullshit. In fact, I invested in the company because of their channel consolidation. They actually own their distribution. They were saying that's collusion. It was not disclosed. I'm like, who gives a shit? Not disclosed. You're saying that like their distributor is buying their product and like shelving it and artificially inflating their revenue. I'm like, but then the inventory period is not like as you say. That's not accurate. These people are so full of shit. But that caused the stock to drop like 50% or whatever. So like, you know, it's like I don't even know who does that. Like who's selling it at that point? Why does that occur? It's the mechanism is like the mechanism is some weird thing with the market and how the market caps of smaller companies like ADMA. Excuse me. ADMA is like really small. What's the market cap? 2.4 billion. Yeah, I guess the float's low and it was easily manipulated. Like, it's gonna go back to 15. Like, I'm not concerned about that. Back to 15. Not sure what to do with it yet. Not sure what to do. But SMCI is a nervous one. You know, I do think that like there is a huge, like Amazon is building its own racks. Would NVIDIA build their own racks? Let's ask my. Let's ask. Amazon's building their own racks, so that's one less potential customer. Yeah, you don't like. Yeah, why doesn't NVIDIA build their own racks? I don't know. It's a good question. Let's see. Yeah, when you have a long position and you're down, and it's just it's a heavily weighted position in your portfolio, you know, you're going to have quarters where you have to report that you're down, and it just is what it is. Like it's the reality of life. Like again, like let me put it this way. Let's do this. Let's talk about Bausch for a quick second. Bausch and Lomb's market cap currently is $2.1 billion. Okay, but it owns 88% of Bausch and Lomb, which has $6 billion in equity and about $4.3 billion in debt. So there's $10 billion just there that is unaccounted for, completely discounted by the market relative to Bausch Health. Does that make any sense to you? The only reason this works mechanistically within the market is because of the concern over the loss of their top-line drug Xifaxan for IBS in January 2028, late 2027, January 2028. The first inroad in that is Teva Pharmaceuticals. They have the first right. They're the first filer. So you're talking about a company that literally is not like 88% of their marketable security holdings are not accounted for, and those account for $10 billion. Do you see how crazy that is? By the way, that's the at the market. The reason why Bausch & Lomb's value is so low, that they're trading at a $6.4 billion, is because the float is there's no churn because Bausch owns them. So both companies, by their synergistic relationship, are actually severely undervalued. And you're not going to know that. I don't think there will be a move up in Bausch & Lomb before it's sold. If it's sold, hopefully, or spun off completely. I don't think you're going to see it. You're not going to see the move because there's just not enough shares for anyone to like move it up. The float is locked. Kind of like I think Ackman talking to the public about Fannie Mae Freddie Mac at this point. It's been traded at 77 cents at one point, you know, the conservatorship, and now in 2008, 2009, now it's it's at $8, and he's talking about how it can like 4x from here. It's trading at 0.43x EBITDA. I think he's right. I think he will sell before the IPO, but I think he wants to lock up the float. He wants to lock up the float so that like there is no dump. It's just like appreciation upwards from there. Hold on. Or stagnation. Hold on. Yeah, let's see here. Ooh, this is a good report. Thank you for doing this. Wow. Wow, this is huge. Yeah, Amazon's not just building custom chips; they're building a rack OEM. When you design this chip in the rack system and hint at selling it externally, you're vertically integrated past every layer SMC occupies. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was concerned about. See, I think NVIDIA is going to have to do some acquisitions. Yeah, I agree. NVLink to unlock high-speed interconnects is not really a power play. It's more of a deflection or a defensive one. SMCI long-term structural problem. Yeah, it's the same problem we've always had with the chip companies, like Apple's building their own chips, and so and so we go. Grok and Tesla's building their own chips. It's also better for the companies long term. You want to have your own chip. It's not necessary. You have all this cash. What else are you going to do? You're providing an opportunity for your competition to actually go into your area. You'd crush them by building your own. It makes complete sense. You create your own ecosystem that's vertically integrated and intrinsic. I'll read this a little bit later, but yeah, that's the way that cookie crumbles. I like Elan. I like that you put some money in Elan, Elanco, the animal feed company. She's not coming back again. There's a girl in the corner, and she shines for you. You ever think about being a shower thought where you're in the band The Killers, and after the show you have a tour bus and you get a hot dog on the side of a road at this little truck stop thing, and there's this baddie and she looks great, and we're in a relationship with a controlling woman, and she's just so bad, but she's so deferential to you. She's her own spirit, but she's deferential. That type of thing to Nick Fuentes is disgusting. The romanticism of it, the meet cute, but there is another part of life where it's okay, yeah, conceited, but this girl literally does not want to fuck your shit up. She just wants to be there for you, and she doesn't demand all your time or anything like that. There actually are women like this. They're amazing. And then she's a little troubled, so you have to help her along. And it's not going to take much from you. You're already established. You're the lead singer of The Killers. Na 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 na, just to know your name. Heaven ain't close, don't be sure that is. I don't. Oh, bring it back down tonight. I kind of put on that night. It's not really like that though. Oh, save some face. You know you only got one. And change your ways while you're young. Spin doctors? Oh, won't you like to buy me flowers? Just go ahead now. If you like to talk for hours, just go ahead now. Oh, baby. Guy had a good voice. All right, for sports fans. Well, I'm trying to make up for last night. I'm really hungry. Can I have veal and Milanese every day? Is that bad? I don't care. I'll talk to you later. Maybe I'll do another show today.